Hi guys, can you hear me? Can you guys give me a comment if you can see this or hear me? Not sure if this is working yet. Oh, it looks like it is. Okay, so best laid plans. Only 20 minutes late. Sorry about that. Okay, so let me get organized. If somebody could give me a thumbs up or something so I know this is everybody's getting this, but according to my computer, we should be getting this. Um, okay, so hi guys. For those who don't know me, my name is Paula. I own Shake-a-Paw Dog Training. And this is our attempt at a Facebook Live. Not going so well, so good so far, but Today I wanted to talk about barking. Specifically when your dog barks at you and what to do about it, how to fix it, how to prevent it from happening, all those things. I'm sure with all the time people are spending at home right now, even though most of us, the weather is nice, or at least in Ontario, the weather is nice and we're starting to exercise or able to exercise our dogs more. With all this extra time you're spending at home, your dogs are barking at you a lot. If they tend to be that way. So hopefully the information I give you today will help you fix that. So whenever you're working with stuff you want to change, always remember, whatever your dog does is being reinforced by you or by your environment. As soon as you remember that, you start to get much more aware of what you could be possibly doing to reinforce your dog. Without a doubt, there are breeds that have a much higher tendency to be barky and breeds that aren't. But any dog can be taught to bark. So any dog can end up with this behavior. So the first step of changing any behavior is management. That means not putting them in the situation where they're going to bark at you and then you have to respond. For example, I had a dog that used to bark at me every night after dinner because I took my dogs for a walk every night. We finished dinner, we got up, we went for a walk. So eventually, if you had dinner and we're sitting there chatting for a few minutes, the dog started to bark at me. We eat on our couch, so he'd stand on the other side of the coffee table and bark at me. And at first I thought it was funny, and then I was like, yeah, I don't like this. So what are some options for that? I could have put him in a crate. So when I started dinner, put him in a crate, and that way I could finish dinner, whatever. And when I was ready, I could get up and let him out of the crate. That would prevent the barking. I could give him something to do. So while we ate dinner, I could give him a rawhide, not the white ones, the ones that are body parts, or something he could chew on, a frozen Kong, something he could chew on during dinner. So even when I finished dinner, he was busy and didn't care. Or I could create a behavior of staying on his bed till I told him it was okay to move. And that way he'd be busy again and not barking at me. All these behaviors, all these new behaviors would create something that wouldn't let him bark. So with anything you want to change, you're not trying to teach him not to bark. You're trying to teach him to do something else instead. So some of them, like giving him a Kong, I'm just not giving him the opportunity to bark because he's busy. The other two, being in a crate or staying on the bed, would be training different behaviors. Both of them will work. Once you've done this for a few weeks, it takes a few weeks to change a habit. So once you've done it for a few weeks, you could give him freedom and see what he chooses. Does he go right back to barking at you? Then you do it for another 3 weeks and maybe do it for 2 months this time. Or maybe he goes, what if I go lie down and chew on my toy when you finish dinner? And then you can get up and go for a walk. And now you've started to eliminate the barking behavior. Keep in mind, once a behavior is created, such as barking at you to go for a walk, first learned, best learned. they could always default back to that behavior. The longer you go without him doing it, the more likely he won't do it. Does that all make sense? Send me some questions if you have any questions on anything I say. Okay. So another example of creating a different behavior. I used to have a dog that barked at me when he felt it was dinner time. He'd follow me around and bark at me. Now I feed my dogs in crates. So my dogs know that whenever they want to get fed, if they go sit in a crate, I might feed them. So again, creating a new behavior chain to cause the dog not to bark at me. So all these things are talking about ways to avoid barking instead of rewarding barking. That makes sense. Okay, so some other ideas of ignoring as a tool for training is challenging. You can ignore the barking, and when I have baby dogs, they're going to try barking at me. They're waiting to get their dinner and they'll try barking a few times and go, hey, feed me. If you are totally aware of that and you ignore it, it will go away because it doesn't get reinforced. Once you've created a dog who's barky, ignoring becomes much more challenging because the behavior is much stronger. And it's really hard to ignore barking nonstop. So a couple of things happen. The dog's barking. Finally, your head explodes and you're like, please shut up. As soon as you do that, you've reinforced the dog. Excuse me. Or the dog escalates. So he's barking at you, nobody's paying attention, and he goes and picks up your boot and starts running around the house. Now you have to pay attention because the behavior's gotten to something you can't ignore, like eating your boot. So be careful of ignoring. If you're going to ignore, you have to be committed to, I am going to ignore you till you shut up. If you can't do that, if you find you always end up breaking down, then you're actually building the barking behavior, and you don't want to do that. You want to make it, because that makes a stronger barking behavior, so he's more likely to keep barking for longer and longer and longer. Okay. Other reasons that I've been asked about barking. So barking to get you up in the morning. Lots of dogs learn you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning every day when you go to work. But on the weekends, you'd like to sleep in. But the dog's like, hello, it's 6 o'clock, please get up. And then they start barking at you. This is what I do at my house. So my puppies sleep in a crate till they're about a year to a year and a half, depending on the dog. At first, my husband gets up at 5 o'clock, so he lets them out for a pee, and they go back in their crate till I get up and showered and the whole bit. I think that's a great habit to teach your puppies. You have to get up and let them out for a pee right away so they don't have a problem. But after that, teach them to go back in their crates so they learn to stay quietly while you get dressed and all that stuff. That prevents taking your clothes, chewing your socks, chewing your bed, whatever, while you get ready. Now you can let them out when they're nice and calm. When they're about a year and a half, and I start letting them loose, every single puppy has done this. I'll be sleeping and they wake me up. As soon as they wake me up, I put them in their crate. So they learn very quickly. If you wake me up, I'm like, oh, good morning. Now you go in your crate. I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset about it. My dogs have huge value for their crate. So going in the crate is already a really strong behavior. But they understand waking me up does not mean I'm going to get up. I'm going to feed you. I'm going to take you for a walk. It means if you wake me up, you go sit in a crate till I'm ready to get up. So that's it. It's barking at you is all about creating new behavior chains that make sure barking does not get reinforced. The other one is coming in from the yard. Lots of dogs stand at the door and bark and bark and bark. I want my dog to bark to come in from the yard, but I want him to bark once or twice, just enough to tell me, hey, I'd like to come in. And most of the time I'm going to let them in. But sometimes I may be mopping the floor, or I have company, or that I don't want them to play with, or whatever. So that's when I do you bark once or twice, I open the door. But if you bark incessantly, I'm going to wait at least 5 minutes. Get into the habit of, you come to the door, you bark. If I don't answer it, my current dog goes and sits on the little bench. Whatever. You do whatever you want, but you can't bark incessantly coming in from outside. So you see how I'm constantly putting in behaviors to make sure that barking doesn't get reinforced. Okay. So I don't think I'm getting any questions. I could be wrong because I'm not sure how well this is working. If you have any questions, let me hear them. Send them to me on message or comment below, and I will answer them. If not, I'm going to wrap this up for right now because I want to figure out what's going on. And I will talk to you again next week, Friday at 10 o'clock. I promise to have it all figured out. And we'll go from there. Have a great day. Please stay safe, and we will get through all this together and see how it goes. Okay? Thank you very much. Bye.